Sarcasm Sam, Mr. Blitztech.
Revenue GS.
Jay, 1/3 of the Cyber Nerds.
And welcome back to another week of discussion of Andor episode 9. And if you're back here again, and if you haven't subscribed, I'll tell you again, subscribe to the channel. Listen to what we're saying. Subscribe to the channel, road to 200,000 subscribers. And if you want to watch the full watch along, head over to patreon.com/the Cyber Nerds. Gents, floor is yours. Hey, what's good, fam? If you enjoyed this video, check out our Artisan community where you will get private Discord access to join us in chatting about all things movies and trailers, participating in our debates, and even submit your requests on which ones we watch. You also get access to our full movies, animes, and series reactions, so don't miss out. The link to join the community will be pinned comment.
Yeah, I don't know, this episode is just, I don't know, just to repeat, really, is a tad bit better than last week's episode, but not that much better at all. The only part I'm interested in the most is just the Empire trying to find out about Cassian Andor, their relationships. I like the way that guy's just been stalking the agent lady. Mm-hmm. Obviously, she's still not messing with him at all. And if it seems like if David was to meet again, she'll get him arrested. And I like the way he's now moving a bit crazy. So if he does start moving in a way that he's trying to get justice without them, that'd be pretty legit. Where everyone else in the soundtrack, I really don't care about this movie.
Oh man, it's a bit mad because I think that guy there, like, he can't be a major player in this season, can he? Unless he's gonna do something erratic. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know where his whole storyline is going. Like, I'm lost on what he's doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, I'm just kind of disappointed in this episode, man. I feel like this episode debunks the whole every 3 episodes something fire is gonna happen. And it's making me lean to more so like the next great episode's going to be the season finale or something like that. I'm still like calm, enjoying the show, but it's like some of these episodes are like, I don't know. It's like there was lots of good things in here, like talking about torture, talking about how the Empire eradicated that race of people, finding out what happened on level 2, like. There's things that they're trying to keep us engaged with, but I'm just like I just don't feel like they're good enough things to be interested in. And it's like this episode, Andor talks. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's a bit active today. Mm-hmm. Last week he was not active at all. Like it's a bit all over the place for me, man. So I didn't love this episode. I thought it was a fine episode. Didn't love it.
Yeah, I think I've come to the conclusion of understanding what they're doing with this season of Andor, which is the very first spark of what goes to transpire into Rogue One. Like Rogue One, everything's already like massive scale, while this one is like, it's still very minuscular, which is like very beginning where even the Empire is trying to really understand, like they're trying to get grasp of what's going on. Do you know what I'm saying? Because even from the very beginning where they had no clue until this she kind of like brought their attention to then, and then they just try to give us glimpse of this is what's transpiring across the Empire, the prison system. Yo, you man think you got a couple of days left or however the number of days you're in the Bing, bruv, that's not the case, because once you're done those days, they're just going to shift you to another floor and so on. So they're just kind of like building the world for us without making it interesting. And then that's pretty much it, innit? So I'm calm with it because I feel like I'm in a position now where I understand the tone of the show and the characters and all the things that man came in here expecting or had a vision of. Is not where it is. So now I'm like, okay, like this is where it is, and this is how man's gonna keep going until we get to that specific day where everything kind of like boom explodes and the bigger players gonna start coming in and doing all that stuff. Like even them giving us Saw Gerrera doing the trailers, but Saw Gerrera comes in here last episode, does nothing. It doesn't even appear on this episode. To me, it just shows, look, everybody's doing their own little thing and this little thing, and then later on we get to see them all the spectacle that is Rogue One.
It's not. I don't think anyone's talking about a lack of spectacle, bruv. Like the episode's it's just a dry episode. Like, get me? It's got nothing to do with the plot, the tone, where the thing's building over to in the overarching. It's just there's nothing here that's interesting. Even the stuff that they're presenting us as interesting, it's like I feel like in the same series they've done it better. Do you know what I'm saying? So
no, I agree with that. The way they're presenting it is like so uninteresting. Like, doesn't grasp man like that, innit? But that's just me. Like, that's what the conclusion I came off today. Like, watching this episode. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like obviously I was saying, they do stuff in 3-part arcs, and that now not being clear here. So I don't know if they're going to go for 6 parts. I don't know what's going to do. Couple episodes, but it's like, why wasn't the prison break here?
I think it was one of the cases where it was like they knew they was dropping the first 3 episodes from the beginning. I'm talking about the inception of the show. The first 3 episodes are dropping, so they went hard on the 3rd episode. They went hard on the mid thing, and then they're gonna go hard on the season finale. That's why. So it's like 3, 6, 12. That's how I'm seeing it now, bro. Because even the prison break, like,
why stretch that? Like, that could have been solved here. Like, they could have found out about level 4. That guy has a stroke. Then they do the, like, I want to see what's in the next episode.
Why did they even have the guy dying, frying himself in the last episode? That almost has no relevance at this point, unless that's going to circle back. They definitely could have mashed up. And when you think about all of the nonsense scenes we had in the last episode, you're like, yeah, you definitely could have mashed up both of these into that, got us in and out of the prison in this little 3-episode arc, and then kept it moving, fam. So it's really, like I said, it's peculiar, bruv. Like, this whole thing here just seems like it's getting, I don't want to say dragged out.
It's getting stretched.
Yeah, it's getting. It's not at the point of getting dragged out, but it's definitely getting stretched.
Yeah,
bro. You get me? Like, this whole episode of my man, the older brother dying. Like, bro, why did that take? Like,
because in last episode we heard about, I didn't screw something properly. It was like, they're plugging that in. But again, it's like,
you're stretching it. Yeah. It's stretching.
Wrapped up, and
especially with that guy dying, the other guy dying at the end, bro. Like, why? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's very, like you're saying, it is peculiar. Just decisions either to, like you're saying, now to make a full 6, but then it's like you're just now making extra for nothing because everything feels real empty. We've got more from our front. No one's listening to her. Like, the own show don't even like her, bro. So how are we supposed to, as the audience, like her? Even her own, like, I don't know, problems. I'm like, well, rich people problems. You want me to even try and coincide with that?
Do you know what, bruv? That was so mad, you know. That whole scene with bruv. I'm 100% with you.
Because someone's gonna enter your house that they gotta get this fog. We don't even know who this man is.
We weren't caring about her before that situation.
Yeah.
So when you're bringing her cousin, who we don't actually care about anyway, she's the worst person on that 6 rebellion team that came out to be following. She's teaming up with the other character we probably like the least. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And then they're, like you're saying, they've got rich people problems. Like fam.
And this is how I've gone from starting to feel like the show's problem is where I feel like they were introducing characters. I thought they'll get more interesting, but now they're just taking very weird turns to the point I'm like, am I gonna care about your arc at the end of the season? Which is then a very massive problem because then I'm like, then why am I watching the show? If there's no interesting plot, no interesting characters, and I've got to watch it to see how it then adds up to Rogue One, I would just rather just watch Rogue One, like, 3 times over.
Bruv, you're definitely onto something, because it's like, even when you think about Andor, it's like, Andor hasn't, for me, only really shined in episode 6. Do you know what I'm saying? When he was doing what he does in Rogue One. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think about the other characters, the redhead guy who was the supervisor and who's now just roaming around the ISB building. He was super legit early. Now it's like, yo, what's this guy doing, bruv? The general who works for the ISBC, she's been the calmest. I feel like this episode they tried to double down on her being actually evil. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll get the doctor, send the doctor, like using torture as a way to like kind of make her be like, yeah, she's super on point. So I see that, but like, yeah, man, like not really interested in the rest of the characters, fam. It's a bit mad, bruv. It's a bit mad because this season it's kind of going up and down, but the downs are never like low. They're just meh. So it's just going fine, bruv.
Do you know one thing that I feel like not threw me off, but made me question is that does it feel like there was a some sort of like time jump, not crazy time jump, but like a couple of days past in prison. Because how do we go from Andor last episode, just first time I've seen him, they even had a shot of him working with the team, and then now he's going to the bathroom, but then he's communicating with the black guy that's from a different team, from a different table, like they've known each other for a while now.
Last episode.
Besides them saying that he'd done a 30-day rotation, that must have been when that communication was happening and started.
Okay, great.
You get me?
Because all of a sudden having that conversation, like, going to, he's talking about mission with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I guess you might be right. It could be within those 30 days, isn't it? And obviously, the deterioration of the older guy as well was pretty fast since last time. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they do try and pepper in small little things, and I feel like if you do rewatch it, you're gonna get it. But I don't feel like the rewatchability is there because we do see Andor clocking things, and obviously now they're shown in this episode where he sees when man's walking past, that's their shift. Someone's gonna come down. They're not wearing boots. Like I said, even in communicating with the other guy, he's been telling this guy information. He's like trying to clock on and get this whole prison break thing to happen. Obviously now Circus is on board because he found out they're not getting out. But like, it just feels stretched to the point where if it could have been more concise about how the time jump happened, what happens in between, even just having a little discussion with him prior to that, like just walking past someone and there's like a relationship, something. But it's just like
it kind of goes back to what we were saying last time. It was about just the way the episodes are being handled and things just not being interested enough for man to pay attention. Because it's easy for you to miss out on things because they just don't make it interesting enough, innit? But what you man are rating this episode?
I'm just going with a 2.5, man. I'm cool. It was a calm episode. We'll see what happens next week. I'm just really interested in terms of like where the season actually ends, because I think that will be the remedy to these episodes if it works out. So 2.5, 50% good, 50% boring.
I'll go with a 2.5 as well. I just need to see where this is going, because at this point it is actually a struggle. And it's funny because I do want to see where Andor and the prison break goes, and I do want to see where the ISP lady and that relationship goes. I don't give a F about Mothra at this point. And like I said, the show...
I don't think you did for a long time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that whole thing there is great. I'm like, where is this going to pay off, if at all? And
questions that need answers. And it is a 2.5 from me as well. Little bits here and there. But again, like I've been saying, I think the way they just been handling the show and just doesn't make it pretty enough or interesting enough for man to grasp everything overall, innit? So it's a 2.5 from your favourite nerds. Jump in the comment section below, let us know your thoughts. And have you been enjoying this season of Andor and what you like, what you don't like, characters, arcs, episodes, whatever may be the case. I'm Raven the GS.
So I'm Mr. Bistec.
J1 for the Cyber Nerds.
Peace.